Whenever you're sending this 10, you'll send 10 with like a 0.01 sats or 0.02. This is to incentivize. So this happens when you're paying for that artwork to Carol. So Bob gets to earn something because they're. So that's clear? In case you wonder why will Bob be volunteering all this time? Hmm? They're putting their money on the line, but they're not getting anything. So they usually get small sats as fee. I hope on the payment channel it's clear.
Yeah, really just about launching when we are opening the channel. As you can see on the slide, the blockchain analysis is the opening and closure of the channel. So, what is the committed channel capacity coming from channel size that we are committing to a transaction?
Your transaction. So he's asking what happens when you're opening from the main chain, like when you're opening a channel, what usually goes on. So let me just wrap this. So Alice is still having her Bitcoin, right? So this is the Bitcoin layer. So this is Alice. And then there's Bob. Oh, okay, sorry. So the process of opening a channel, there's something called funding. So when Alice wants to open a channel with Bob, they have to commit funding. So they commit a funding of 100K. So the channel being opened between them, Alice has put 100K on the line. So that's what's covering the opening of the channel. It's called the funding process. So the channel between them, it's worth a capacity of 100K. So this means in case Alice decides to be a bad actor and try to swindle Bob, Lightning does penalize Alice. So at some point, they might lose the whole 100K to Bob. So that's put there to counter the measure of people becoming bad actors.
Can you just repeat it again? The last part?
The defrauding one?
Yeah.
So in the case whereby Alice doesn't want to pay, so you've ordered your coffee and you're like, let me try and dash, right? You had already opened a channel with Bob. So in that case, there's something we call a revoking secret. So Bob, in your you remember the commitment transaction, right? We have an input. So this input, if you're trying to defraud Bob, Bob will create a new input. He'll just use this input plus your secret since they had it. And then use this to settle here. So the moment they broadcast this, it means in as much as Alice goes offline, Bob will still be able to claim what is his. Right? That's clear?
I would mention HTLCs too.
Doing that.
Sorry, I just want to add small something to it. So, is the way I like to explain the Lightning Network to people. Or sorry, payment channels. So let's say we two of us, me and Simon, we want to perform some transactions and we want to use it, do it over the Lightning Network. So we come together and we decide that we are going to maybe create a payment channel and fund it with a certain amount. And this payment channel is usually something like two of us come together and then it's more like a multi-sig wallet, I would say. We deposit the funds inside the multi-sig wallet. I cannot take the funds out without his consent. So both of us need to sign before we take the funds out of that multi-sig wallet. So the funds will be there as long as we want it to be there. So what we do is we make transactions between each other. The funds, the network or the protocol records how much you are sending to each other. So it happens instantly. So let's say I funded the channel with 100k sats, like he did. Now we have the 100k sats in that multi-sig wallet. That cannot be taken out without two people signing, the two keys signing. So I decided to I decided to send 10k sats out of that 100k sats to Simon. So what I'm basically doing is I'm pushing 10k sats from my own side to his own side. Now the balance on the channel does not change; it remains the same. But we now have different balance from each. The total is still 100k sats, but you have 10 on this side, and then you have 90 on this side. So at the end of the day, when we decide to close the channel, maybe we are done with what we are doing, and we decide we no longer want the channel again. Now we both sign the transaction, and it is closed. Now the network has taken record of all the transactions we've done. It knows how much should be going to Simon. It knows how much should be going to me. So when we close the channel now, it is recorded on the blockchain. The funds are now split. The 10k sat goes to Simon, and then the 90k sat comes back to me. I don't know if that's clear. That's the way I like to explain it. So yeah, I just wanted to add that.
I just wanted to underscore something that Agassi said. A couple of you guys asked yesterday, why are there different types of on-chain Bitcoin addresses, right? The ones that start with 1, the ones that start with BC1. And he mentioned that, he said the word multi-sig, right? Multi-sig is where, like he said, two people have to sign to create the transaction. And that is a newer form of address, right? So it goes to show that Bitcoin, the base layer, is constantly evolving so that it can support things like Lightning. So that's one of the reasons why we have these different types of on-chain addresses.
So I was asking,
Yeah.
if the two keys need to sign to get the funds back on chain, let's see one person drops or
Okay, for that one, it's the one I was talking about, the secret. So whenever you open a channel, Alice sends a secret to Bob, and Bob sends a secret to Alice. So in case one of them drops and you had made the commitment transaction, Bob is still able to claim what's his using that secret that you had given them.
So it's almost like Bitcoin blockchain is a public ledger, but Lightning is a private ledger between two parties.
Yes. So how you can look at it, it's a 2 of 2 multisig. So it's between two, it's a contract between two people. You can look at it as, you see a bank check, how if we are doing business, like I have to sign the check in order to authorize that you can cash out the check. It's the same thing as this. But now this is more digital.
and the channel capacity decrease when it's still open as the channel has
No, the channel remains as 100. So the limit you set while you are opening it, that's constant. But then nowadays we have something called splicing, whereby if you want to send more than what you have, your node is or your wallet is able to automatically create the extra, like a new channel, to cover what you don't have. That's good till that point? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I guess I had covered this. So as you can see, Alice is sending to Bob. Then the new balance is being noted. And then during settlement, it's the same thing I was using, but here they're using 10 to 0. So transaction 1, Alice sends one SAT, transaction 2, another SAT, transaction 3. So you're seeing Alice remains with 7, Bob has received 3. And then during settlement, the settlement transaction, the balance that's recorded now is that Alice has 7 and Bob has 3. So that's clear? So before I go to this, I think we can have our short break. Then I'll jump into this. I don't want to go, at least let the payment first settle in, then we'll build up on this. Okay, thank you. See you in like 15 minutes. Thank you, thank you.